must be delighted with your players today.
I am. They've shown really good spirit. It's been a really tough couple of months and certainly a tough couple of weeks for everybody. I was worried about how we would be condition-wise today. I spoke to you before the game. I said that I'm probably going to have to use all my subs. I'm probably going to have to do that against MK Dons and Bristol Rovers until we get up to speed and where I want us. But having said that, no excuses. The first goal has to be better from us, and I thought we got let down by the ref. Having said that, even when you get let down, you still got to react and you still got to think danger and smell danger, and we didn't do that. But then to sort of go behind to a second goal that come out of nothing, I have to say it was a good goal, and they executed it well. Although it was a punt upfield and a little bit of a flick on, but they certainly executed it well. For us to come back from that was really pleasing.
And you talk about react as well. That's another thing you talk about with your players, is that perhaps they started beating themselves up going behind in games, and they've obviously gone against that today. Yeah,
and to be fair, obviously the Oxford game we've gone in front and lost it, but obviously a lot of players missing. But prior to that, we've gone behind in a lot of games of late, and if you keep doing that, eventually it's going to catch up on you. And the first goal can be really, really important. Apart from the Oxford game, there's not been too many games this year when we scored first and not gone on to at least take a point, if not win the game. So that will be our focus going into Tuesday's game.
It must be, I know it's forced on you, but good in the sense that you made 5 changes, probably the first time you've done it as a manager, and yet it feels like they're there for a squad win, doesn't it? The whole squad contributed.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously I think some of the subs certainly contributed more than others, but they definitely had a contribution on the game and an impact on the game in a positive way, and that wasn't always like a quality of pass or shot or whatever it may be. Sometimes it was just getting up to players and making it difficult for the opposition and making a run and running in behind and not coming towards the ball all the time. So I was happy as a whole that the group, the 16 players that sort of did play today, they all played their part. Some of them were good, some of them were not so good, and they were just been told, and will have to be better come Tuesday. But ultimately, that's why you have a squad. Anthony
scored a very well taken goal, and then obviously was involved in the second. Is he forcing a case to get in the starting 11?
Yeah, of course he has to. But it's one of them where I made it clear I want that from the start from him. I know he played a little bit of a different role against Oxford, and he's not a physical presence as much as maybe a Callum or a Tom Hopper. But the reality is you can show a physical presence whether you're 5'2" or 6'2". So the pleasing thing for me and Scully is he's come off the bench today and pretty much said to me, I want to be in that starting 11, and that's what I love and that's what I want from my subs that come on the pitch, and he's done that today. It's up to him if he gets the opportunity on Tuesday to take it with both hands.
And he's got the chance obviously to go on and be leading scorer for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is capable of scoring goals. I want him to get into more goal scoring positions. I think sometimes he gives the opposition the upper hand on that from that point of view, but the reality is his goals for minutes on the pitch is pretty good. But we want a performance from him as well. We want the goals, but we want a performance as well. And his performance, other than the assist and the goal today, in the time he was on the pitch, even here on the halfway line when he's looking after the ball for us, making a sensible pass, either back into the full-back or the centre-half, they're the type of things that young players just take for granted sometimes, and they're important, and he realised that today.
Terrible cliche, but cliches are often true. It must feel like a win today, though. Up against a team in great form and would have gone 3 points clear of you if they'd got the win today.
Yeah, probably sounding a bit of a grunt, but it's definitely felt like a win to the players. For me, I'm still a little bit frustrated because I know what they're capable of, and I know a lot of teams in this league fear those players in that dressing room, but I also know a lot of teams in this league think they can bully them. So it was important to get certain players on the pitch at some point today. Joe Walsh is a brilliant example of, even when he's not up to speed, the aggression and the way he approaches the game and the way he goes about the game is everything I want to see in a player, and certainly one of my defenders. And like I say, the goal probably come a little bit too soon for him in terms of it was like, okay, welcome to action. But I thought after that, it was superb.
He also helps knit your game together as well, doesn't the way he brings the ball
Yeah,
out.
he's brilliant. He gives that balance, obviously, being left-footed, and he's been a big miss to us, and hopefully we can keep him fit between now and the end of the season.
I guess you give the next 2 games, obviously MK Dons and then away Bristol next week. You try and give some value to what's a good point.
Absolutely. No, listen, it's a good point. Don't get me wrong. It's a very good point because we haven't trained for 2 weeks. Players have seen themselves back into it. We're up against a side who are clearly in a good vein of form at this moment in time. So we'll go into the game on Tuesday in high spirits, looking forward to it, and can't wait for the game. But we set our standards to a point and quite high at times this year, and we've got to get back to where they were.
Just ask about the injuries. I know we talked about it before the game, but probably some fans haven't heard. What's the situation with Brinker?
Yeah, so he's got a grade 2B soleus sprain, whatever that is, basically a calf injury. So he's probably going to be out for maybe another 3 weeks or so. So we're hoping that we can get him back in around the group for the last few games of the season. But I think we're just going to wait day by day and week by week, and keep assessing him over the next 2 weeks, and hopefully the closer he can get back to the group, the better.
Finally, for me, perhaps today was that reset point, wasn't it? The start of a mini-season of 9 games, and hopefully this is it's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because we know that we need to do. We know the points that we need to accumulate between now and the end of the season, and the players are aware of that, and they'll take confidence from that today.